John Herman, plenty of banter at the end of that press conference just now. It's all on for the 100-footers.
Yeah, 100%. You got to have some fun, and I mean, we all take it extremely seriously, but 48 hours out, we've got to be able to have a bit of a joke with each other, and yeah, we're all super excited for Boxing Day, and yeah, every single person at that table wants to win as much as the next, I promise you.
And it's very obvious they're serious, because you're all serious, because there's a whole bunch of some of the world's best navigators.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I would back Justin over anyone, but I'm sure Rico says he backs Stan over anyone. What I can say is I've sailed with Stan, I've sailed with Justin, although when I sailed with Stan he wouldn't remember, it was over 15 years ago. So I'd like to say I can compare the two, but I don't really remember it. But they have a great respect for one another. Justin speaks super highly of Stan. Obviously Chris is amazing. And yeah, it's just, yeah, it's awesome. Really awesome to have the best of the best from around the world, in not just a crew on our boat, but in navigators on our boat, in other boats, crew. And there's some really, really talented sailors in this year's race and on these 400-footers.
And we were talking in the media conference about VMG and whether that favours skinny or broad. It's a little square for you guys, ideally, is that right?
Yeah, for sure. But if it's a bit of a mix, we'll hang in there. But that's why we're all going to get down to Tasmania on the current routing so close. So it's a bit of everything. I mean, we'd love to reach straight down there, and I think that would be our best conditions for sure. But you can't always get what you want, and you got to play the hand and the cards that you're dealt. So we're going to do that, and we'll give it our all.
And interestingly, in the time you've had the boat in Australia, probably some of your most surprising results have really been around light airs. You've really filled that gap as well, even though you may not need to worry too much about that this time.
Yeah, so we've got to make sure that, I mean, we might have to worry about it up the Derwent. No one knows what we're going to get up there. But for us, we knew that was the boat's weakness, so we focused a lot of attention into that. We were talking about making some modifications, but we sort of really changed the way that we sail the boat in the light air. And yeah, we think that it's a good all-round boat. I mean, everyone's got their advantage at different times, and we think that at the end of the day, if we sail this boat well and she holds up well and we don't have any breakages, we can definitely at least get her to Tasmania hopefully first. And unless I've seen some of the shots of it sitting there on glass, like no wind. I mean, if we get that, it's out of our control, but we'll do the best we can with what we've got. And I have no doubt that we're well prepared and sailing with some of the best guys in the world, and I'm in great hands, and it's an absolute honour to be able to get down with this team that I'm with.
And finally, you've sailed this race in smaller boats and done pretty well too. What's your sort of pick for where, beyond the 100-footers, where do you think the real interest is going to lie?
I think the forecast looks like it's another TP52 race. I think that I'm not a big yachty, I'm a skiff sailor usually, and dinghy sailors before that, so I'm not as much of an expert on that question as anyone else, but it seems to me like 80% of the time a handicap's won by a TP52 in recent years, so they rate very, very well. Maybe some of the raters need to look at the way the rating system works, but yeah, it looks like a TP52 race again. Maybe there's a slightly smaller boat in the 40, 45, 46. If there's a good downwind boat of that size that might just get there in the weather window, that'll really see them have an advantage. But yeah, it's a mid-sized boat kind of race, this one, and generally the mid-sized boat, the TPs, they rate very, very well.
Might just ask one supplementary question. You very generously led us onto the boat on Thursday at Hamilton Island Raceway. It was a pretty full-on day, and you and John Winning Senior both at the wheel. It must be pretty extraordinary going from 18-footers all through your career into something this scale. Ian Murray described it as a big dinghy. Is that really almost what it is?
Yeah, it's like a big skiff, but a lot safer. I mean, it's not safe if something breaks, but when you're sailing, it doesn't wipe out as easily, so it's certainly a lot easier to control than an 18-foot skiff, but a lot more that can go wrong. I mean, other than you're going to have some pretty epic wipeouts on an 18-foot skiff, but these things, if something breaks, it's a lot of load and a very big boat with very heavy equipment on board. So it's comparable from the feel of the sailing. It's definitely responsive. It's amazing. We love it. We're very honoured to be able to sail this boat.
Well done and good luck. See you in Hobart.
Cheers. See you there.